Hello and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. Well, today on the 16th of June 2026 I went to Kenilworth Castle with my partner for the day, and I thought I would try and do a bit of plein air sketching, which is something that if you follow the channel you'll know that I've always wanted to do and struggled to do in the past, but I am determined to keep practicing until I get used to it. You can see in that shot there my equipment. I've got a camera tripod and a sort of hard-backed bag, an Etchr Slate Mini, which is really useful for plein air painting. It's sort of got a camera tripod attachment in the back of the hardback, so you can actually angle it on the camera tripod. Last year I also bought a little folding stool, really small stool, that has made it easier in terms of I can sit anywhere I like in front of this easel sort of setup. You can see that I'm using beige paper, and I use that with gouache because it's sort of a mid-tone, and of course gouache is opaque, so you can cover the mid-tone as you paint, but it helps you see the sort of tones before you get too far into the painting. Slightly different to what I would normally do in that I am using, you can see, a little ink pen, so it's sort of like an attempt at pen and wash, I suppose, but of course with gouache you can actually cover the lines that you've done because it's opaque to a certain extent. Very unusual to be able to film me doing this sort of thing, because I'm normally on my own and it's a bit difficult to film while you're working, but my partner was with me and he did some footage for me, which is why you can see me working. There you can see the camera tripod, the Etchr Slate Mini, and the little stool that I'm sitting on. I think you can begin to see why I want to paint outdoors, with all the bird song that you can hear in the background and that sort of thing. Very peaceful thing to be able to do, really. But in the past I've struggled to be comfortable. I've struggled trying to find places to put my equipment. It has to go on the floor next to you, and of course in long grass that's a bit difficult. Do any of you paint on plein air, and what sort of setup have you got? The part of the castle that I'm actually painting is the outer curtain wall and the water tower. It's a beautiful building, I have to say, and you could paint so many views of it, really. The painting took about 45 minutes as I was sitting there, and that's partly an issue in that, you know, if I was on my own and didn't have my partner with me, I'd have been happy to sit there for much longer, really. So although it's great to have the footage of me painting, inevitably whatever I create is going to be a quick study of what I'm looking at here, because I'm conscious that it's not very fair for my partner to be hanging around while I paint for 3 hours. Still on the ink stage at this point, gradually putting it together to something approaching what I've got in front of me. Just building up the detail as I go, really. Careful observation, that's what it's all about. Not just for plein air, but any art, really, I guess. And it did take me a while to sort of build up to get it right, you know, so I wasn't worried about drawing over the lines, particularly that I'd already drawn. It's a sketch, it should look like a sketch. It's built up as a sketch, I think, really. And as I said, when I start putting the paint on, you can start to cover some of the mistakes anyway. It's quite peaceful. I didn't get disturbed too many times as I was painting. It was off the main tracks, really. And that can be another reason for people not to like painting outdoors, because they keep having people look over their shoulder. And if you're not confident, then that can be quite intimidating. I'm not particularly bothered about that, to be honest. And if people want to go and watch, they can watch. But I know it's sometimes an issue for other people. And you can see there how I'm starting to add very thin layers of gouache paint. You can build it up gradually, but you can already see that even the thin layers are covering the brown of the paper already. I'm going on holiday up to my shepherd's hut near the Lake District in a week or so's time, and I'm planning to do a bit more of this sort of pen and wash with gouache painting. I'm not taking much equipment with me this time. I often do quite a lot of painting when I'm up there, getting away from it all. But I feel like I need a bit of a break this time, so I will only be sketching, and only if I fancy it as well. Good shot of my palette here. For the gouache, I actually just let the gouache dry in the pans there and reactivate it with a spray bottle of water. So that's what makes it so portable and useful for working outdoors. And you can see that I'm using a Derwent water-filled brush there as well, so that you don't have to carry lots of water with you, which again makes it easier. All these things I'm gradually picking up as I do more and more of this each year. Maybe I will get to the point where I actually enjoy painting outdoors. I enjoy the experience of sitting there in the peace and quiet and the birds tweeting, but I often find the actual end result quite frustrating. I think inevitably it's not going to be as good as something that you could take your time on with everything around you as you would normally have it in your studio or whatever. But I think maybe if you can limit your expectations, then it becomes a bit more of an enjoyable experience. And I'm sure, like I always say on my channel, the more that you do it, the better you get at it. So that's what I'm counting on. I will keep trying to do it. Not all the time, but you know, when I can, when the weather's nice. Certainly don't want to be painting outdoors in gales and rain and that sort of thing. You can see now I'm building up more layers of gouache on this painting, and I'm sort of trying to put marks on that indicate the blocky nature of the sandstone that the castle is built up of. Now I've sort of put all the paint on, the washes of the paint, and I'm going back in with the pen because the gouache has covered some of the lines, and I sort of want to bring out some more of the detail using just the pen itself. And of course the joy of gouache is that it dries really quickly, so you can go immediately into it with the pen. So overall I think the experience was an enjoyable one. I had a little sort of time pressure element to me, and I didn't want to be sitting here for hours, so it had to be a quick drawing. As I said, it was about 45 minutes of drawing because my partner was with me, but overall it was okay. I'm not super proud of the result, but then I have to remember it was done in 45 minutes while sitting outside with all of the issues that encompasses. Changing lights, sun coming out, going in, those sorts of things. Flies, being bitten. Why do I want to do this, I wonder? Now I'm just titling it, dating it, and signing it. This is the view that I was painting, and this is the resulting drawing. So quite scrappy, but that's fine. It was a quick sketch. I would do it differently if I was on my own. I would have spent longer on it, to be honest. I would have been perfectly happy sitting there for a couple of hours probably and doing a more finished piece. But I've discussed the reasons why that wasn't done. And it's fine as a sketch. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit different to the normal ones that I do. It was nice to sort of have somebody to do some of the footage for me. So I've edited lots of footage that Mark took of me while I worked. And it was just something different for everybody to see. I will do some more plein air, as I say, when I go up to the Lake District probably, but I probably won't video it because I need the tripod for the actual Etchr Slate Mini that I use. I will put a list of the equipment that I use in the description of the video for anybody that's interested in that. And if I'm an Amazon affiliate, so if you do click on those links and buy anything through those links, then I will receive a few pennies from Amazon for that. So that would be great if you could, if you're interested in buying any of those. Right, that's it. I will see you on the next one. Bye.